everybody, welcome to Canvas Corks and Forks. My name is Katie and I'm going to be your at-home artist today. So today's painting is going to be our Mystic Purple Moon Tree. I just want to do a little supplies check just to make sure that we are all ready to go. We should have our paint kit, our brushes, paper towel, and a plate. Hopefully a couple sips in there too. Now the colors that we're going to be using today are black, white, and then just our ultra blue, and we have our permanent red color. We're going to be using these to make our purple throughout, and we are going to need quite a bit of white for this one, so I'm going to show you my plate just so you kind of get a sense of what I'm working with. So I have two piles of white, a black, and both that red and blue color. Now I'm going to be working at a little bit of a quicker pace, so at any time if you need to just stop the video, pause, work a bit more on your background, and then rejoin me for the next step. That's a really great way to go at your own pace. So if we could take out our biggest paintbrush from the water and just kind of dab it off on your paper towel to get started. We're going to be working on the background first, and for our background we've got mostly light purples and blue tones going on in here. We'll be working on the moon first and then stretching it and stretching it out. So let's make up a purple color on our plate. I'm going to scoop some red aside, add that blue, and then to really help brighten it, I'm going to take a good scoop of white and mix that white in there. So we should be getting a nice light purple color, but tweak it to kind of make it your own. Add a little bit more blue, a little bit more red. And when you are ready to go, I'm just going to kind of scrape my brush off, get all the extra paint off there, and we're going to start with a circle. So you can put the circle wherever you want, but I'm going to hop up to the top right corner here. Alright, how we do? Got our circle on there? We're going to be filling it right in to start with just the same color. So go right ahead, nice and smooth. And then here's the thing, we don't want it to be one solid color. So I'm just going to take my brush, I'm going to scrape it off even more, wipe it on my paper towel, and I'm going to go in with just white paint. And I'm going to take this white and just kind of pepper it throughout there so that it's not just one solid purple tone. The white's going to help really brighten it for us. So I have white on my brush. I'm going in very lightly and just adding little moments where I think some white or that nice light purple color should be, so it's just not solid. Again, if you need to pause the video and keep on working at your own pace, go for it, but I'm going to be moving on to my background colors next. So now that I got my light purple, my whites, and my dark purple mix in there, I'm going to go ahead and work on a nice light blue around it. So you don't need to rinse your brush off again, but scoop some white aside and add the tiniest bit of blue to it. If you add too much, it's going to go dark really quickly. So just a little bit of blue and a lot of white. And I'm going to surround this circle I did. So all the way around it. And if it mixes in, that's A-okay, because we actually want to go back and kind of blend it a little bit. So right where the two colors meet, I'm just going back in very lightly and pushing them into one another. So we should have our purple center and a nice light blue around it. And bring that blue out a little bit more. If you want to play around, you can always add a little bit more white in there, just for that same idea. You don't want it to be just one color on there. Playing around with a couple different colors is going to help it look nice and glowy on there. Okay, I'm going to stretch mine out right about here. But if you really like glue, keep going for it. You can kind of customize it. But I'm going to be switching over to my light purple next. I'm going to scrape my brush off. Again, you don't have to clean it. It's okay. A good amount of white, and add a little bit of that purple into it. So we're looking for light purple. All right, now just like we did before with the light blue, we're going to surround our shape with light purple now. And we're going to sprinkle a little bit of white in there to help push it around. So we're using light purple and white, and we're going to stretch this out a lot further. All around. Blend it a little bit into the blues, overlap things a little bit. And then right about from here, I'm going to start getting darker with my purple. So I'm going to start taking less white and a lot more of that purple color that we mixed up before. So if you need to make more of it, go for it. But we're going to take some darker purple, just a tiny bit of white, and then same idea. We're going to be working our way out. We're going to just keep stretching it. So I got my darker purple paint. I'm going all around it. And then I'm going to use that white, like we did before, to help blend everything. So back with just white and push it all around. So for our background, we can go all the way up to our top edges here and fill them right in with our purpley color. But we don't really have to worry too much about this bottom edge because we're going to be having a good chunk of the land down here. So just really make sure you hit the 3 corners. We've got 1 corner, 2, and 3. So I'm going to make sure I'm going up to the top. I got this top one already done. And then I'm really going to worry about this bottom one too. Again, just with darker purple and a little bit of white this time. If you're not too certain where you want to put your land at the bottom here yet, you can just go through and paint the whole entire edge. But I'm just kind of saving this little pocket because I know it's going to be black in a second anyway. So keep working on your background. When you're ready to rejoin me, we're going to be working on that land next. So if you need to, pause the video now, keep working on blending, paint the edges of your canvas if you want to do those edges, and then we come back, we're going to get ready for the dark bottom here. Alright, welcome back painters. We're going to be working on the ground level next. So we were just using our big brush for the background. We're going to be using that big brush again for the bottom here. So just make sure you kind of clean it off, wipe it on your paper towel a little bit, and we're going in with just black paint next. So it's going to be my big brush, black paint, And I'm going to start out just with the kind of base that we want to build up down here. And it could be bumpy, you could change it, it could go all the way across. Whatever you're thinking is totally cool, but this one kind of looks like a cliff. So I'm just going to go right over to my edge. Put some kind of a squiggly wiggly line across here. And I'm going to make sure it comes out a little bit further because I'm going to be coming back in towards that corner there to make it look like it has an edge to it. So I'm stopping right about here, halfway, maybe a little bit further. And then I'm coming back at a diagonal. So it looks like a little overhanging edge. And then all of this is going to get filled in with just straight black paint. Once we have that base on there, I'm going to switch over to my medium-sized brush. So throw this one back in the water and let's get working on our tree trunk. Right, now with my medium-sized brush, and again, black paint is going to be mostly the color we're going to be using from here on out. I'm going to take the black, and everybody likes to work differently. You can work from the bottom of the trunk and get thinner as you go away. Or personally, I feel like I like to get thinner and start up top and get thicker as I go down. That way, in case I push my paintbrush a little heavier, at least it's thicker near the bottom of it and not thicker at the top. You always want to be thin to thick. That's the main thing we have to keep in mind when we're doing our tree here. So I have the medium-sized brush. I'm just using the very edge of it, nice and skinny. And I'm going to go all around my moon here and bring it right back to the base. So I have a nice curve to it. And bring it right back. So it kind of looks like a big hook on there. Once we've established this, it's going to be our base for working off that trunk. So like I said earlier, we're going to build up the bottom to be thicker. You can go all around it. Use it as a guideline, and just make sure it gets thinner as we get closer to the end here. So I'm going through, I'm filling it in. And just bringing it up so it looks bigger and thinner at the top. And then same idea, we're going to pull off thinner and come back to it thicker. These are just going to be the main branches we're going to work off of. So you can customize it if you want, or you can follow along for each branch that I'm putting on here. So thinner, and then come back thicker. They can go right off the edge, so if you kind of want to bring them right over, make it look like it's flowing off the sides. It's kind of a really good way to fill up most of the frame. But for now, we're just building up our shapes. Once you've established your main branches, we're going to go through and add some of the smaller ones here. We have quite a lot in our example, so you can put as many or as little as you want. You can have it just stay as is, but I'm going to switch to that small brush, black paint, and same idea. It's going to be thicker where it connects to the branch, and then thinner as we go away from it. So thick to thin. And I kind of like to treat it like they're a bunch of Ys, or they got the V shapes. So if I put one on there, maybe I'll put a couple little ones hanging off after. There's a few. Put a bunch of them. And you've got each branch that you can really work off of and add as many or as little as you want to these. Just keep in mind, we're going to be putting our leaves on here, and those leaves are going to go right on top of these branches. So if we don't have a lot of branches, we're not going to have a lot of leaves on there. So just to show you up close some of those that I'm working on there. Just always making sure that it's thicker where it connects and it gets thinner as you go back. So if you're looking at yours thinking, why does mine look like a cactus? It's because when you're doing it, and I'll show you kind of on there, it's because it's going to be thicker where you're going away from it, and then it's getting thinner as you go back. So it kind of makes it look like a little chunky of a cactus shape. So all you need to do is go back to that one, or a couple of them, and just help smooth it out. So we're going to make sure we're going back and thickening it up on the base, and just very lightly making it go to a thin line at the end. I promise that's going to help a lot, cactus people out there. It's going to really help. So if you need to pause the video, go for it, but I'm just going to keep on adding these branches, and then we're going to be jumping down and doing the grass on the bottom next. So if you need to keep on working, go for it, pause it, but now we're going to jump down and we're going to do our grass level next. And it's very similar to what we just did with these branches. We're just going to make sure that it's kind of thicker where it connects and thin little pieces as it goes up. You can build up as much or as little of this grass, maybe do little pockets on there. So it looks like little pieces are kind of chunked on there. Or go ahead and do the whole edge. We also do have it on the side of the cliff. So if you want to bring it right on down here, it can jump on that edge. Now our big finale step here is going to be those leaves. So for the leaves, I got two different tricks for you. You can use your small paintbrush and just kind of dab it on there like it's a stamp. And I'll show you on my plate what I mean with the big brush, just so it's larger for you. You can take your small paintbrush and white paint, or whatever color you want the leaves to be, and you can really just dab it on so it looks like a stamp. Or take that big paintbrush, flip it over and use the wooden side and treat it like it's a stamp by dipping it right into your paint and dotting it on. So either technique for the leaves, dip it like a stamp, or just push the front of the paintbrush on there and build up your leaves. I'm going to use my small paintbrush and that white paint, and just like I showed you with that first technique, I'm going to dot it all over, right on top of those branches I have. So just hugging on. Some of them can kind of float a little bit if you want extra, so they don't have to be exactly on there. They can kind of break off. And to show you up close, you can really add as many or as little of these as you like. When you are all done, we should have a nice coated tree on here with our white leaves, but play around with those colors, change it in any way that you'd like. But thank you all so much for joining us for our purple mystic moon painting today. And please check out our website for our next Pick Your projects. See you all soon. Thank you.